A hotel is like a machine. You know, it needs to be maintained, it needs to be run, it needs to be cared for. My name is Michael Golden and I am the General Manager of the Park Hyatt Bangkok. So, overview of the hotel industry, I think you will find that it is at different stages depending on the individual hotels or brands. No hotels will be too much alike, I suppose, because everyone is taking a very different approach to this situation. Given that there is nothing to benchmark this against, I think everyone will be using their own judgment as far as their particular hotel and their particular circumstances as to what is happening. But then going forward, obviously, as restrictions are eased, once the airport opens up, I think the hotel industry will try to rebound as quickly. So changes post-COVID, I think there's a lot of discussion at the moment about hygiene and those particular things, but for a hotel like ours, many of those practices were already in place. What we've probably done differently now is made them more obvious than what they were before. We also have, from a Hyatt corporate perspective, we have a whole range of new requirements when it comes to hygiene, service sequence and standards and so forth. So we will implement them as well going forward. These are practices that probably just take what we were already doing to the next level, and you'll see that around the hotel. Some of it comes down to social distancing, but a lot of it is also just the physical practices or sanitization or separation, actually. Separation of everything from a used menu and a sanitized menu, and making sure that there's no overlap of something so simple. So I think they're probably the big things. We have a whole list of new practices that we have to apply, but also just a heightening attention to the ones that we were already doing. Changes in the industry overall, we can see from some of the other markets that are maybe a little bit more advanced in their recovery than what we are and how they've adapted. So for example, if you look at China or even Australia, for example, domestic tourism is obviously the first thing to rebound. And then after that, it will be the countries that each particular government see as being a safe country to allow international travel between. So, I think at the moment, obviously, there are discussions about which countries will be the first ones that will be allowed, for example, back into Thailand. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe the traditional markets change a little bit. Maybe the style of clientele change a little bit. Maybe more people will be interested in a luxury hotel like ours because they're looking for that safety and confidence to know that all those standards are in place and that it's a safe destination for them. So I think it'll be very interesting for the industry, whether it be Thailand or any other country really, to see what is the new norm for hotel and travel. Lessons we've learned from the crisis, I think as with everything, you really see the difference that social media and media has brought with this particular crisis compared to previous, whether it's SARS or anything else. It's really made it a global issue through that media outlet. I think, and through that, how quickly things can move and also how quickly things change. That's been incredible to see just how fast industries, countries, regions, can be impacted by something. So that was, just the power of the information and distribution of that information and what that has caused. I think, from a general practices point of view in hotels, it's always about we're here to provide service and we're here to please. But now we can very easily see that yes, we're still here to provide a luxury service and a luxury experience, but there are protocols that will need to be followed to make sure that, whether that's hygiene or safety or communication, that people have that confidence. And that's probably the big change and what we've learnt from this whole process. for the Park Hyatt brand and our hotel as far as Thailand and Asia goes, so Park Hyatt Bangkok opened 3 years ago, so May 12th was our anniversary. First Park Hyatt in Thailand. From a marketing plan perspective after COVID-19, I think again it's a matter of understanding what the customer will be looking for, and it will be different based on whether they're a leisure traveller or a corporate traveller or here for a conference. So I think, you know, for us again from a marketing perspective, not just looking at which areas or geographic locations we want to target, but also communicating, you know, for example, the certifications that the hotel has, again repeating you know, the focus on the architecture and design so that people can have that peace of mind. We think that people will choose hotels maybe a little bit differently than they did before. They may look at the hotels more as a destination because they could potentially spend more time in the hotel than they may have done before. So our marketing will focus on, you know, what we have available. What are the unique selling points for this hotel that make it a better choice than anything else, you know, when people are looking for that, when they're looking for that confidence and safety, but they're still looking for luxury travel experience. For the decision to, if the hotel has been closed, to reopen the hotel, as I mentioned in the beginning, every hotel will be in a different circumstance and they'll have different reasons for either opening or remaining closed. Obviously, to have business opportunities and to try and bring revenue into the hotel is a big one, whether that's through the restaurants or different channels now, online shopping for hotels, pickup, takeaway, you know, all these things that maybe we didn't do before, that, you know, that are a new opportunity for us as the market is adapting to that. That's one side of it. The other side for us is that, you know, the hotel is like a machine. You know, it needs to be maintained, it needs to be run, it needs to be cared for, and to leave it sitting idle for too long is, in my opinion, not good for the building, not good for the machine. So for us, and with such an amazing product, you know, we want to make sure that that's being maintained. So in our particular circumstance, while we're here maintaining that and running the machine, the hotel may as well be open. And, you know, if we're able to bring people in on staycations or daycations or, you know, for meetings and things like that, that's an added benefit of us being open, but also at the same time keeping the wheels turning and keeping the machine running efficiently, so that when things start to return, we're ready to go. We're all set. So that in our particular circumstances, that's also one of the guiding factors as to why to reopen as well, even with the airport extended closure.